iPower. In the paper is the program. This is iPower 102.7 FM, Emurele Owo. This is the program where we'll be bringing you stories from different newspapers in Nigeria. My name is ABDULRASAQ and with me is
INIOLUWA.
And today we have various newspapers with us, and we'll be reviewing top stories from various newspapers in Nigeria. And for today we have the cable newspaper, we have This Day newspaper, and the Daily Post newspaper from my end. While my colleague will be taking us stories from
the Hope newspaper, the Punch newspaper, and the Nation newspaper.
And that is the newspaper we'll be taking you for today. We'll go on a short break. When it comes back, we'll give you details of the top stories headlines. And welcome back. You are listening to iPower 102.7 FM, Emurele Owo. And now we proceed to today's headline. Starting from my side, we have the biggest headline from the Daily Post newspaper. We have group accuses Ayedatiwa over alleged 240 billion naira secret Ondo bond.
On the Hope newspaper, we've got Ondo State to build trade fair hub to boost revenue.
And also on the Daily Post newspaper, I have every Nigerian should learn combat skill for self-defense, says General Musa, who is the CDS.
Still on the Hope newspaper, PDP moves to oust Osun defectors.
I'm still staying through the Daily Post newspaper. I have Jonathan keep mum as Northern opposition intensify pressure.
On the Punch newspaper, Oyo to pay 1 billion naira compensation on Circular Road project.
Still on the Daily Post newspaper, I have Tinubu has done a lot for Southeast, says Information Minister.
Still on the Punch newspaper, your contribution needed at home, Tinubu tells Nigerians abroad.
Still sailing through the Daily Post newspaper, we have a Nigerian army arrest suspect bandit informant in Sharagi in Kwara State.
Still on the Punch newspaper, 2027 polls behind surge in killing, says CDS.
Coming through your hair from the Daily Post newspaper, we have PDP not dead, says Makinde.
Still on the Punch newspaper, Wike camp rejecting zone stocks with Makinde and Diri.
Away from that to the cable newspaper, we have Tinubu leaves Japan for Brazil to stop over in Los Angeles.
Still on the Punch newspaper, Tinubu hasn't neglected the North, says APC Vice Chair.
Still coming through from the cable newspaper, we have EFCC declares Atiku's son-in-law Bashir Akshay wanted for money laundering.
Still on the Punch newspaper, Northern Group decries marginalization, unveils 2027 strategy.
From This Day newspaper, I have a Tinubu to citizen abroad. Nigeria is rising against invest at home.
From the Nation newspaper, ASU decries poor retirement package for university teachers.
And away from that to This Day newspaper, we have Nigeria position as global relevant mining hub, says federal government.
On the Nation newspaper, RMAFC begins review of salaries for political office holders and others.
And that concludes the headline for today. We'll go on a short break. When we comes back, we'll give you details of the stories in full.
You're beginning, right? Are you starting?
We are glad to have you back. You are still listening to iPower 102.7 FM, Emurele Owo. Now we proceed to the detail. Starting from the Daily Post newspaper, we have a group accuses Ayedatiwa over alleged 240 billion naira secret Ondo bond. A civil society organization, the Ondo Redemption Front, ORF, has accused the Ondo state government of lacking transparency and accountability, particularly over its controversial 240 billion bond. According to the group, there is no public feasibility of the bond in terms of its conditions, utilizing and current status, stressing that Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa's administration is clogged in alleged financial secrecy. During a press briefing in Akure, the state capital of Ondo State, ORF disclosed that it is in possession of documents and evidence indicating that some individuals within the government have been receiving monthly 12 billion naira kickback from the secret bond. According to the chairman of the group, Ayodeji Ologun, who was flanked by the co-chairman Kayode Mogbojuri and secretary Adedotun Ajilo, Aiyedatiwa and his commissioner for finance should come out clean over the controversial bond. Ologun, emphasizing that the integrity of the state is at stake, called on the Ondo State House of Assembly to promptly initiate a transparent investigation, warning that continued silence will only confirm suspicion. For details of this story, check the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Group Accuses Aiyedatiwa over alleged 240 billion naira secret Ondo bond.
Still talking Ondo State with the headline, Ondo to build trade fair hub to boost revenue. And now the details. Ondo State is set to establish a trade fair complex to stimulate local businesses and increase internally generated revenue. The Commissioner of Commerce and Industry and Corporate Services, Pastor Adebola Ademuwagun, has disclosed. Ademuwagun made this known while receiving members of the House of Assembly Committee on Commerce and Industry led by the chairman, Barrister Felix Afe, during a familiarization visit to the Ministry of Akure. He explained that the complex would provide a platform for showcasing local products, boosting entrepreneurship and attracting investment that would enhance the state's economy. The commissioner, who assumed office barely a month ago, assured that the ministry would work closely with the assembly to ensure transparency, accountability, effective oversight in all the projects and programs. Ademuwagun further clarified that while the Ondo State Development of Investment and Promotion Agency oversees state-owned investments, the ministry facilitates new investments, supports small and medium-scale enterprises, and drives entrepreneurship through loan, grants, and industrial initiative. For more details on this story, see the Hope newspaper.
And away from that to the cable newspaper, the detail. Tinubu leaves Japan for Brazil to stop over in Los Angeles. President Bola Tinubu has departed Yokohama, Japan for a state visit to Brazil. In a statement issued earlier Friday morning, Bayo Ononuga, Tinubu's special advisor on information and strategy, said the president left the Asian country on Thursday night. He said the president will have a stopover in Los Angeles before proceeding to Brasilia, Brazil's capital, where his state's visit will begin on August 24th. Tinubu's departed Nigerian on August 15th stopover in Dubai, UAE, and arrived in Yokohama, Japan on August 18. While in the Asia country, the president attended the 9th Tokyo International Conference on Africa Development, TICAD-9. The conference, initiated by the Japanese government, was co-hosted by the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, the African Union Commission, and the World Bank. To get details of the story, check the cable newspaper with the headline, Tinubu leaves Japan for Brazil to stop over in Los Angeles.
Still on the Hope newspaper, PDP moves to oust Osun defectors. And now the details. The People's Democratic Party has filed a suit at the Federal High Court in Abuja seeking the removal of 4 federal lawmakers from Osun State who recently defected to the All Progressive Congress. The affected lawmakers are Senator Francis Fadaunsi of the Osun East constituency and Olubiyi Fadeyi of the Osun Central constituency, alongside with House of Representative member Taufik Ajilesoro of the Ife Federal constituency and Omirin Olusonya of the Ilesha Federal Constituency, filed Raphael Oyewole. The suit invokes the 68(1)(g) of the 1999 Constitution, which mandates that lawmakers vacate their seat if they leave the party under which they are elected, except in cases of party division, merger, and faction. For more details on the story, see the Hope newspaper with the headline.
Every Nigerian should learn combat skills for self-defense, says
Naira in compensation to property owners affected by the ongoing Circular Road project in Ibadan, bringing total payments so far to 600 million naira. The latest payment, which represents the full batch, was released recently at the office of the Commissioner for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, William Akinfunmilayo. In a statement, the Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dotun Oyelade, assured that full 1 billion naira earmarked for compensations will be paid soon. He explained that the Circular Road corridor was first acquired in 2006 and expanded in 2018 before Governor Seyi Makinde assumed office. For more details on that story, the Punch newspaper has it with the headline, "Or you ought to pay 1 billion naira compensation on Circular Road projects."
And I'm still sailing through the Daily Post newspaper. I have Jonathan keep mum as Northern opposition intensify pressure. To the detail. Ahead of the 2027 general presidential election, pressure is mounting on former President Goodluck Jonathan to join the race. The former president is under pressure, especially from the Northern opposition, to declare his interest to run against President Bola Tinubu. Jonathan served as Nigerian president for about 5 years. On Thursday, May 6, 2010, Jonathan was sworn in as the 14th head of state and the 4th executive president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. After completing the tenure of Yaradua, Jonathan contested and won the presidential election in 2011. Parties under the All Progressive Congress (APC) in 2015 in his second term. On Thursday, May 6, 2010, Jonathan was sworn in as the 14th head of state and 4th executive president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. After completing the tenure of Yaradua, Jonathan contested and won the race in 2011. For more information of this story, check the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, "Jonathan keep mum as Northern opposition intensify pressure."
Still on the Punch newspaper, your contributions needed at home, Tinubu tells Nigerians abroad. And now the details. President Bola Tinubu has called Nigerians in diaspora to contribute their expertise and resources to consolidating national development and building a stronger and more prosperous country. President Tinubu made this call in Kahala Hotel and Resort, Yokohama, Japan, during an interactive meeting with selected members of the Nigerian community on the sidelines of the ongoing 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development. He said, and I quote, "I am happy to listen to you. I am happy to report that many of our people are returning home. Yes, for economic reasons, some people might decide to stay away. It is a fundamental right of an individual, but for economic growth and opportunities available in Nigeria, don't stay away. Your contributions are very much needed. If you stay away, we will build it." Presidents at home and those abroad. For more details on the story, the Punch newspaper has it with the headline, "Your contributions needed at home, Tinubu tells Nigerians abroad."
And you can as well connect with us via our YouTube by searching for iPower 102.7 FM or connect with us via our number to share your perspective or your view on the news read to you so far. You can call us on 081 65 52 4699. 081 65 52 4699. I'm still moving through the news from the Daily Post newspaper. I have Tinubu has done a lot for Southeast, says Information Ministers. Now to the detail. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, has said that President Bola Tinubu has recorded a significant achievements in the development of the Southeast since coming to power. He said this in Umaya on Thursday during a town hall meeting and sensitization program about the federal government's Southeast milestone under President Bola Tinubu, represented by the head of Federal Information Center, VIC, Abia State Office, Mrs. Gloria Abiakam Idris, said the Renew Hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu gave attention to critical sectors, including healthcare. Agenda of His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, several critical sectors are receiving attention, which is long overdue. He said he listed the cancer center equipped with MRI machine at the University of Nigerian Teaching Hospital, Enugu, student loan scheme, ongoing upgrade of Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway, agricultural intervention programs, First Ladies Empowerment Program, among others, as the benefit of Tinubu's administration to the southeast. To get information of this story, check the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Tinubu has done a lot for southeast, says ministers.
Still on the Punch newspaper, 2027 polls behind surge in killings, says the CDS. And now the details. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has linked the recent surge in killings across the state with the headline 2027 polls beyond.
And thank you for staying with us. You are still listening to iPower 102.7 FM. In the paper is the program, a newspaper review program on iPower. You can connect with us through our YouTube by searching for iPower 102.7 FM or call us to share your perspective about the news read so far on 081 6552 4699. 081 6552 4699. Moving on with the stories from the Daily Post newspaper, I have a story coming from the Kwara. Nigerian Army arrests suspected bandit informant in Sharagi. Now to the detail. The Nigerian Army has apprehended a man identified as Abubakar Ibrahim, also known as Abim Damitso, in Sharagi, Edu local government area of Kwara State, on suspicion of being an informant for bandits terrorism the local government area. Source disclosed that the arrest took place on the suspect resident in the community, according to the source, who confirmed the development to Nupe TV Lafiaji. Namitso was also arrested along with another individual. However, the second person was released after investigation and interrogation found him to be innocent. Meanwhile, the individual remained in custody of the security agency for further questioning. For details of the story, check the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Nigerian Army arrests suspected bandits informant in Sharagi.
Still on the Punch newspaper, on PDP crisis, Wike camp rejects zoning talks with Makinde Diri. And now the details. Ahead of the People's Democratic Party National Elective Convention scheduled for November in Ibadan, or your state, the camp loyal to the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has rejected the Southern Leaders Zoning Consultative meeting held in Lagos on Wednesday. According to recent reliable sources, the governors are expected to arrive in Gusau, the state capital, today before holding deliberation the next day on pressing issues that must be resolved to ensure smooth national convention in Ibadan. Amid this tension, the zoning committees led by Bayelsa State Governor Duoye Diri continued its consultation across all regions as promised at its inauguration on August 14th, and consequently held a meeting with southern stakeholders in Lagos. The 44-member committee, chaired by Diri, is expected to propose a zoning formula for the 19th National Working Committee position between the North and the South at the 102 National Executive Committee meeting next Monday. At the meeting, the NEC will decide whether to adopt, reject, or amend the committee's recommendation. However, just hours before the Lagos Southern zoning talks commence, a few state chairmen, former governors, National Assembly members, and other key stakeholders aligned with Wike's camp had publicly distanced themselves from the gathering. They condemned the Lagos gathering, describing it as a PDP Southern Zoning Consultative Summit, insisting it was convened without proper consultation. For more details on the story, the Punch newspaper has it with the headline, Wike Camp rejects zoning talks with Makinde deal.
And similarly, reading story from the Daily Post newspaper on PDP, we have PDP not dead, says Makinde. Now to the detail. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State on Thursday declared that the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is not dead. Makinde made this assurance while speaking with reporters after PDP's Southwest Zoning Consultative Summit in Lagos. He maintained that the PDP remained a formidable force despite its internal crisis. The governor noted that with hard work, PDP can reclaim power. He also warned that he is not prepared to stoop low with anybody who opts to go into the gutters. Makinde, however, pointed out that he reserved the right to disagree with anyone. For more information on this story, check the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, PDP not dead, says Makinde.
Still on the Punch newspaper, Tinubu has neglected the North, says APC Vice Chair. And now the details. The All Progressive Congress National Vice Chairman, Northeast Comrade Mustafa Saliu, has dismissed the insinuations by Northern elites that administration of President Bola Tinubu has abandoned the region. Speaking exclusively with newsmen via a phone interview, Saliu said that the aggrieved Northern elites bandying such talks do not represent the interest of North by their personal interest. It disclosed that the North takes the highest budget of the country and that major appointments go to the North. He further tasked the Northern elites to ask their governors to explain how they are spending the money allocated to them from the center, yet without any meaningful development in the states. While commenting on the 2027 general election, he declared that the President, Tinubu, has no competitors, reminding newsmen that the outcome of the last Saturday by-election showed that the next election will be APC versus APC. For more details on that story, the Punch newspaper has it with the headline, Tinubu has neglected the North, says APC Vice Chair.
And away from that to the cable newspaper, I have EFCC declares Atiku's son-in-law Bashir Akshay wanted for money laundering. Now to the detail. The Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, has declared Bashir Akshay, a businessman and son-in-law of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, wanted over allegation of criminal conspiracy and money laundering. In a notice issued by Dele Oyewale, EFCC spokesperson, the anti-graft agency urged members of the public to provide any information that could lead to Akshay's arrest. The statement read, and I quote, "The public is hereby notified that Abdullah Bashir Akshay, whose photograph appears above, is wanted by the EFCC in an alleged case of criminal conspiracy and money laundering." For details of this story, check the cable newspaper with the headline, EFCC declares Atiku's son-in-law Bashir Akshay wanted for money laundering.
Still on the Punch newspaper with this headline, Northern Group decries marginalization, unveils 2027 strategy. And now the detail. The Arewa Defense League has raised the alarm over what it's called a persistent marginalization of northern Nigeria in national affairs, vowing to mobilize the region ahead of the 2027 general election. In a communique issued recently at the end of the roundtable held at the historic Arewa House, Kaduna, the group said the North had suffered political exclusion, economic neglect, infrastructural deficit, and insecurity under successive federal governments. The ADL president, Murtala Abubakar, who presided over the meeting, said northern Nigeria could no longer remain silent while it continued to be pushed aside in the Nigerian Federation. At the end of the deliberation, the ADL adopted several resolutions aimed at repositioning the region. For more details on the story, the Punch newspaper has it with the headline, Northern Group decries marginalization, unveils 2027 strategy.
And I'm still sailing through the pond of the cable newspaper. I have Tinubu to citizens abroad. Nigeria is rising again. Invest at home. Now to the detail. President Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerians in diaspora to contribute their expertise and resources to drive national growth. Tinubu spoke on Thursday during an interactive meeting with members of the Nigerian community on the sidelines of the ongoing Tokyo International Conference on Africa Development in Japan. According to a statement issued by Bayo Ononuga, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Tinubu said Nigeria is on the rise again under his leadership. The President said leadership is about thinking and doing, adding that his administration priority is to create an environment where every Nigerian can feel the positive impact of change. For details of the story, check the cable newspaper with the headline, Tinubu to citizens abroad. Nigeria is rising again. Invest at home.
Moving to the Nation newspaper, where we've got this headline, ASU decries poor retirement package for varsity teachers. And now the detail. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has expressed concern about what it's called the poor pension package for its retired members. The union national president, Professor Christopher Piwuna, said this while addressing reporters recently in Jos, the Plateau State capital. Piwuna said it was disturbing that the introduction of the contributory pension scheme in 2024 negatively impacted the welfare package of its retired members. The ASU national president announced that the union position of a university-based pension fund administration should address such anomaly. He urged the federal government to reverse the trend towards a better welfare package for retired lecturers. For details of this story, see the Nation newspaper with the headline, ASU decries poor retirement package for varsity teachers.
For your reaction on the stories, you can join us on our YouTube page by searching for iPower 1027 FM or connect with us via our studio line to share your comments on the topic of the stories read so far on 08165524699, 08165524699. And away from that to this day newspaper, I have a Nigerian position as global relevant mining, says federal government. Now to the detail. The federal government has reiterated its commitment to transforming Nigeria into a global recognized and competitive mining hub. The permanent secretary, Minister of Solid Minerals, Engineer Farouk Yabo, while speaking in Abuja, said the sideline of the 2025 Nigerian Mining Week noted that Nigeria's mining industry is no longer a hidden frontier. He stated that with over 42 distinct miners types identified across the federation, the sector represents one of the most exciting investment destinations on the African continent. He said, and I quote, over the past 10 years, Nigerian Mining Week has grown from a modest industry gathering into a flagship platform that convenes government, investors, operators, and development partners. He also quote, as we enter the next decade, our focus is clear: to scale up the industry, ensure sustainability, drive value addition, and firmly position Nigeria as a global relevant mining hub. For details of the story, check this day's newspaper with the headline, Nigeria position as global relevant mining hub.
Still on the Nation newspaper, RMAFC begin review of salaries for political office holders and others. And now the detail. The Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission has formally begun the process of reviewing remunerations packages of political and public office holders across Nigeria. This move could lead to significant changes in their earnings after nearly 2 decades without an adjustment. Ahead of the former announcement, the Commission is hosting a strategic retreat in Kano to harmonize various reports before releasing the updated salary structure. The exercise follows last year's review of judicial salaries, which was approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, declaring the retreat open. The chairman of the RMAFC Remuneration and Monetization Committee, Mohammed Kabir Usman, who represented the Gombe State on the commission, said the assignment was central to ensuring stability and strengthening governance in the country. He said, and I quote, "The commission carefully considered a wide range of perspectives, including memoranda from stakeholders, public hearing and ministerial submissions, while all drawing from economic indicators and remunerations practice in other countries." For more details on this story, see the Punch newspaper with the headline RMAFC begins review of salaries for political office holders. Others.
And on sports, coming from the Daily Post newspaper, we have Eberiche Eze becomes Arsenal's third highest transfer in history. Now to the detail. Eberiche Eze is said to become Arsenal's third highest transfer in their history. The 27-year-old will undergo his medical today and complete a 67.5 million euro switch from the Crystal Palace this weekend. A breakdown of a fee showed that the Gunners will pay a guaranteed 60 million euro and 7.5 million euro in add-on. Arsenal have successfully hijacked a two-times move for the player after matching their offer on Wednesday. However, they had paid more for Declan Rice, 105 euro, to take him from West Ham in the summer of 2023. And also we have Nicolas Pepe, also cost Arsenal 72 million euro when they signed him from Lille. The top 5 most expensive signing completed by Kai Havertz, 65 million euro, and Victor Gyökeres, 63.5 million euro, who were signed from Chelsea and Sporting respectively. For more details of this, check the Daily Post newspaper with the headline Eberiche Eze becomes Arsenal's third highest transfer in history.
And now I take a flight to the Daily Post newspaper. Benue Assembly dismisses bill banning romantic relationship. And now the details. Benue State House of Assembly has refuted a viral document trending on social media, which alleged that lawmakers were working on a bill to ban romantic relationship across the state. In a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the Speaker, Honorable Hyacinth Anodina Dajo and Mr. Trevor Zambir, the Assembly described the document as fake, misleading, and a product of mischief makers. The forged order paper reportedly suggested that from January 2026, individuals involved in any romantic relationship would face legal punishment. The Assembly, however, clarified that no such proposal has ever been introduced, sponsored, or debated in the 10th Assembly. The legislature stressed its commitment to passing laws that foster peace, development, and unity, urging citizens to dismiss the fake order paper as the deliberate attempt to tarnish the image of the House. With that, and that's on the Daily Post newspaper. Benue, with the headline, Benue Assembly dismisses bill banning romantic relationship.
And I'm still on the Daily Post newspaper on sports. We have Fulham track Nigerian striker Otele. Now to the detail. Fulham are targeting to move for Basel winger Philip Otele. According to GMS, Fulham had their scouts in attendance during the Basel Europe Championship League playoff tie against Danish club Copenhagen on Tuesday. The Premier League club are now considering whether to place the former offer Marco Silva's side, however, face competition from Bundesliga side and Frankfurt, who also have Otele on their radar. To check the headline of the story, you can go to the Daily Post newspaper and search for Fulham track Nigerian striker Otele. And that will conclude today's edition of In the Paper, a newspaper review program on iPower 102.7 FM, Emurele Owo, Ondo State. Up until next time, I am ABDULRASAQ Alawai, and with me is
INIOLUWA Adekoya.
And with that, do have a productive date, and remember to be a good ambassador of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Nigeria, and do have a wonderful weekend and good morning.
The best station in music news, sports, and entertainment. We are High Power 102.7 FM, the pride of the people.
And now
ọ̀dọ́ Ìsẹ̀yìn o ẹ jẹ́ ká mòrè ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣọpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn òbí wa ìyọ́nú àwọn òbí wa ló yẹ ká máa wá ká má ṣe táwọn ọlọ́pọ̀ nígbà kọ̀ọ̀kan màmá ni màmá tó bí mi sáyé òbí láwọn òbí mi wọ́n tọ́ mi wọ́n kẹ́ mi wọ́n gẹ́ mi dàgbà nílé ayé tálá ọlọ́wọ́n báyìí láyé má ṣe fi kún tó yẹ́wọ́ pa àwọn òbí mi kọ́ má fẹ̀yìntì sunkún mi nílé ayé rọ̀bìlì alámì nọ́bà mi àdáni wáyé tètè dákun wá gbàdúrà mi o.